We need to have this special counsel. I disagree with the Attorney General. For the Attorney General to suggest that there's not enough there is just extremely disappointing.
Well, the evidence is persuasive and overwhelming. Former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, just one of, and there are their pictures, many top FBI and Department of Justice officials involved in the Clinton and Russian investigations who have now been fired or demoted. And there are shocking new revelations concerning McCabe, Jordan, and Meadows. Say an FBI report from the Office of Professional Responsibility found McCabe lied not once, but 4 times about leaking information to the media. Once he lied to the Office of Professional Responsibility, once to the former FBI Director James Comey, twice under oath to the Inspector General.
If those aren't extraordinary circumstances warranting a second special counsel, I don't know what the heck is. So I don't know why the Attorney General keeps postponing this. Everyone in town knows we need a second special counsel to get to the bottom of this.
Joining me now, Tom Fitton, who is president of Judicial Watch. Let's begin, Tom, with Andrew McCabe. I mean, if the evidence is truly there, lying not once but 4 times, that makes McCabe a serial liar, and he richly deserved to be fired. Shouldn't he also be prosecuted?
Yeah, you don't even need a special counsel to conduct a prosecution. You've got these 2 internal findings. The Attorney General himself concluded that he lied, and, lying to investigators in the context he evidently did would be a crime. It would be obstruction of justice in addition. I mean, Greg, you can list all the federal statutes at issue here. And, getting back to Jim Jordan's point, you've got these series of issues with the FBI. James Comey gets fired by President Trump, steals documents, leaks them improperly in violation of the law, get a special counsel appointed. You have his number 2 getting fired for lying repeatedly about his handling of the Clinton email investigation. You got the Strzok Page issue with the text messages suggesting them upending the entire Justice Department and FBI criminal investigative process with respect to both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. You've got the abuses of the FISA warrants. And you've got Bruce Orr, don't forget him, the number 4 at the Justice Department, who was playing shell games with Clinton, DNC, Fusion GPS.
Don't forget Ribicki and Baker have either, headed for the door or been demoted, reassigned.
So that's a pretty extraordinary set of circumstances to really get someone working on this full time, as opposed to doing an internal review and having a prosecutor based in Utah do a review. He's not doing a prosecution.
Right.
He's not doing an investigation.
He's
monitoring the paperwork created by the IG.
It's still cops investigating cops. I mean, I'm looking at the letter that Sessions sent to Congress. Huber is conducting his work from outside of Washington, D.C. area, as if that makes it better or okay. First of all, I don't know how you conduct an investigation with all of the evidence and witnesses and documents in Washington, D.C., and you're stationed in Utah. But second of all, Huber's still with the Department of Justice, so he's conflicted, isn't he?
Well, he's not necessarily conflicted if there's a commitment by the Justice Department to provide him the resources and they're honest about what the investigations are. I would suggest that Attorney General Sessions, to the degree they are actually criminally investigating any of the issues we're concerned about, they publicly disclose them. It's not like there are any great secrets about whether there's a question, for instance, about whether Mr. McCabe lied or not, and that Mr. McCabe's going to be on the alert, and therefore they can't talk about the investigation.
Right.
These are public controversies, and the Justice Department should be specific in telling Congress that, yes, we are investigating this using Justice Department prosecutors and the FBI, and I think you'd have less of a concern about the special counsel. We've got plenty of prosecutors, Greg.
Right.
But we need prosecutions between Mr. McCabe and Hillary Clinton.
Well,
you don't need much in the way of investigations to follow through with significant prosecutions.
What you really need is a grand jury and a judge presiding so that you can actually compel people to testify and you can actually gain a warrant to seize evidence, as Mueller did. I'm reading again from Sessions' letter. The IG has the authority to investigate allegations of wrongdoing, collect evidence through subpoena. No, he doesn't. He has no jurisdiction over some of the main people, like Comey and Yates and McCabe, who've already left the FBI and Department of Justice. The IG has no jurisdiction over it. He can't compel them to do anything.
And this outside prosecutor, the internal prosecutor, as you point out, Huber, he's not prosecuting.
Right.
He's reviewing and going to make recommendations. He's investigating whether to investigate. This is classic two steps on the part of the Justice Department leadership. I don't think they want to be seen as going strong against all of these individuals. You know why I think in the end, Greg? It's because they know it's going to run into the Mueller investigation.
Yeah.
That investigation's been compromised by all the activity we talked about, and to confront it with aggressive prosecutions, whether it be a special counsel or making Mr. Huber, giving him the authority to do the right thing, means the Mueller operation shuts down because it is compromised.
A last quick question and quick answer if you can. So who picked Huber? Well, I have a hunch here. First of all, Sessions was a senator. He didn't know anybody in the Department of Justice. Rod Rosenstein, who spent a lifetime in the Department of Justice, he knows the players there, and he picked an Obama holder in Huber. So it strikes me that this is a Rod Rosenstein manipulation and machination in which he basically duped Sessions, who's naive and gullible enough to say, oh, yeah, let's get Huber. Is that about right?
You know, giving Huber the benefit of the doubt, he may be the best conservative of the Justice Department. Couldn't they have found someone who had been appointed outright by President Trump, who didn't have the background of Rod Rosenstein, who had worked in the Obama Justice Department and then was reappointed by the Trump Justice Department? It's remarkable they picked another Rod Rosenstein to help negotiate this problem for them.
Yep, Rod Rosenstein may have just picked himself. The man is so incredibly conflicted, he ought to, in good conscience, just resign, but of course he won't. Tom Fitton. Tom, thanks very much.